All right, guys, we're going to work on pages 113 and 114 out of our practice and problem solving homework book from Ready Math. So we're looking at our example problem first. Remember, this is always going to guide our lesson for the day. And it says, Ricky and his brother Lorenzo both have to practice for an upcoming karate tournament. Ricky practices for 3/8 hour and Lorenzo practices for 3/4 of an hour. Which brother practices for a longer time? Compare both numbers to the benchmark fraction 1/2. And they have all three of these labeled for us on a number line. 3/8 is right here, 1/2 is right here, 3/4 is right here, and all of those are within our 0 to 1 on our number line. Look at the number line. It shows that 3/8 is less than 1/2 and 3/4 is greater than 1/2. So 3/8 is less than 3/4 and 3/4 is greater than 3/8. Lorenzo practices for a longer time. Number 1. Use the number line in the example problem to compare each fraction below to 1/2. Write each fraction in the correct box. So we're going to be able to use this up here to help us down here. So remember, these are cut into eighths, and so I could write these here. 1/8, 2/8. This is already 3/8. 1/2 is the same thing as 4/8. 5/8. 6/8 is the same thing as 3/4. 7/8. All right, so we have 6/8. Is that less than 1/2, equal to 1/2, or greater than 1/2? So I see 6/8 up here is greater than 1/2. Then I have 3/4. It's located right here. It is greater than 1/2. I have 1/4. All right, so now we're looking at 1/4, and we're going to compare it to 1/2. So I'm going to take my 1/2, and I have to turn it into something over 4, so we'd multiply it by 2. So we're doing the same thing to the 1, so we're getting 2/4. So how does 1/4 compare to 2/4? Well, it is less than 1/2. So I'm going to put it right here. 5/8, is that less than 1/2? So here I am right here, 5/8. It's actually greater than 1/2. Then I have 2/4, and we found out that it is equal to 1/2. 7/8 is right here, and that's greater than 1/2. And then we have 2/8, it's right here, and it is less than 1/2. Oops, sorry you guys couldn't see that. 2/8 right here, and that's less than 1/2. Now we're doing the same thing on the back. We're going to look at these fractions right here, and we're going to determine if they are greater than 1, less than 1, or equal to 1. So I have 1/3. Is that going to be greater than 1, less than 1, or equal to 1? Well, that's going to be less than 1, because 3/3 would be equal to 1. Next, we have 4/3, and remember 3/3 or 3/3 is the same thing as 1 whole. So this is greater than 1. Then I have 12/15. This is less than 1. (3/10). When my numerator is smaller than my denominator, it's going to be less than 1 whole. 6/8 7 over 5. Well, my numerator is greater than my denominator, so it's going to be greater than 1. 3 over 3. It's the same thing as 1 whole. 2 over 5. My numerator is smaller than my denominator, so it's going to be less than 1. And then we have 16 over 10. It's going to be greater than 1 whole. Number 3 says, which fraction from problem number 2 is greater than 1 1/2? And explain how you know. So greater than 1 1/2 means it has to be greater than 1. So I'm looking up here at these. So it has to be greater than 1 1/2, and I'm going with 16 over 10. The reason I know that is because 10 over 10 is the same thing as 1 whole. So then I'm left with 6 over 10, which is really close to 5 over 10. And I know that 5 over 10 is the same thing as 1/2. And 6 over 10 is just 1 more than 5 over 10. So it's going to be more than 1/2. Okay, number 4. It says you can also model comparisons to 1/2 using fraction strips. Write greater than, equal to, or less than to compare each set of fractions below. So we have 2/3, which is right here, compared to 1/2. Well, I can see that 2/3 is greater than 1/2. So remember, we're not talking about alligators eating larger numbers or smaller numbers or anything like that. We're reading it out loud like big kids. Next, we have 2/6 right here, and we're comparing it to 1/2. So 2/6 is less than 1/2. I can see that very clearly. So, because I've looked at these things, I'm comparing 2/3 to 2/6. So 2/3 is greater than 2/6. We finally reached our last problem. It says, Josen and Andrea are on a long-distance bike ride. They decide they will stop for water if either of their water bottles is less than half full. Josen's bottle is 2/5 full. Andrea's bottle is 5/6 full. Should they stop? Explain. Well, let's take a look at Andrea's bottle first. It's 5/6 full. That means it's pretty full. So if I was going to look at her water bottle, that's a pretty bad looking water bottle. And I was going to do kind of like tick marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Her water bottle is all the way up to here because this is 5 out of 6. So it's pretty full. But then we have, this is Andrea. But then if we have Josen's water bottle, I'm going to actually draw a number line here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and 5/5, meaning it's all the way full. This is where his water bottle is, and halfway between the two, between 0 and 5/5 would be right here at 2.5 out of 5. So I'm thinking, yes, they need to stop because Josen's water bottle is less than halfway full, because 5 divided by 2, which is what we're seeing here, is 2.5, and he is less than halfway.